Yes, it is true that we are all waiting for the update of the attestation letter to submit visa application. But guys, one of the most important things that we should consider is that whilst waiting, we have to make sure that we are really prepared to submit a strong visa application, because looking at the visa rejection because of the cap that they have kept on international visas or study permits, I am telling you that there are one or two things that they usually refuse these visas on, and that is what I am coming to tell you in this video. So whilst waiting, you have to prepare yourself very well on these things so that your application that you are submitting will be very strong, because this rejection is so much and I don't want you to be part of it. So guys, stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Gifty here again. If this is the first time seeing my face, my name is Gifty. I mostly share content about anything in helping you in relocating to Canada and life in Canada in general. So please, if you have come across my channel, do not skip this channel. Try as much as possible to subscribe and also like this video that you are watching. I have some couple of videos you can also look into if traveling to Canada interests you. Alright, so basically I think in my last video I was telling you that there are several visa rejections quite recently. Okay, so I have looked through all these visa rejections, and there are some couple of things that they normally reject or refused all these visas on, and that is what I am coming to tackle right now in this video. And if you are waiting for your attestation letter, maybe all your documents, your proof of fund and everything is ready, but you are just waiting for the update from all these provinces so that at least you can proceed with your visa application. But as I am talking right now, there is none of the province has been able to come up with their ways of getting the attestation letter. And remember, the minister mentioned that he has given them up till March 31st, right? And March is just next month. As at the time I'm recording this video, March is just next month. Some couple of 1 week or 2 weeks left, and we haven't gotten any update. And remember, British Columbia, BC has even seized international students for some time. That means this attestation thing is kind of something. But whatever be the case, if we are still waiting for the attestation, what should we do? So once you are waiting for your attestation, you shouldn't just sit down and look at, oh, I'm waiting for the update. But remember, the minister also mentioned that there will be like 36% of reductions of visa acceptance. Okay, so out of the 36, the remaining percentage left, you should be part. Okay, so even if there will be a reduction of visa acceptance, you should be able to conquer to be part of those who will be approved. Okay, so today basically I'll be talking about the things that you can do to help you to be successful in your visa application, because the rejections are so much. So if your application is not very conk, it's gonna bring you down. So all these visa rejections that I was talking about in my past video, there are 1 or 2 things that was mentioned based on their refusal, and that is what I am coming to tell you right now, and what you should do when you are applying for your visa so that you wouldn't be refused or rejected on these things. Okay, so if this is the content that you are interested in, guys, don't go anywhere, don't skip this video, stay with me and let's break it down. Most of these things has been mentioned in other videos, other content creators, and personally maybe your research even tells you that these are the things that you can be rejected on. But there are some basic information that you should also know. So I would also mention all these basic information that you should know. So the first thing that I will talk about is what is your proof of funds. Okay, so mostly they reject your visa firstly because of your proof of fund. Okay, so I'll just first mention all these things, then I will go in depth into what you should do in each and every one of them that can help your visa acceptance. Okay, so the first one is your proof of funds, the second one is your home ties, the third one is your purpose of stay in Canada. Okay, your purpose of stay in Canada. They can reject you based on your purpose of stay in Canada. And also the next one, the fourth one, would be your academic background, okay, or your program of study. Okay, doesn't go in line with your future plan. They can reject you on this one as well. So these are one or two things that mostly they reject visas on. So I'll first go in depth into your proof of funds. So recently the proof of funds that the government of Canada stated was 635. Okay, plus your tuition fee, your first year tuition fee. Okay, so as an applicant, when you are coming to Canada, this is the amount you should prove. But one thing that I will also let you know that you should know to help your proof of fund is that one, that amount should be something that is multiplied. Okay, do not submit that amount, just that 20,635 plus your tuition. Do not get like times 3 of the money or times 2 of that money. Guys, I am telling you, I have one person who proved that amount but was still refused. So right now, because of this changes that has come, try as much as possible to get a lot of funds to support your application. I am telling you, get a lot of funds. So that is one aspect of the proof of funds. Okay, you have to make sure that you have enough funds. They can also reject you based on your proof of fund, not because you don't have enough fund. Maybe you have enough fund. You think like, oh, I have so many funds that meets the requirements of the government, what the government stated. But why am I rejected? So it's not basically because of the fund. Sometimes it's because of how the supporting documents you use to support your application, your proof of funds. So maybe you are getting a sponsor for your proof of fund. Make sure your sponsor is coming along with what? Enough proof for the funds. So maybe you are proving like 800,000 Canadian dollars or something. Do not just leave that amount there. You are proving like 40,000 Canadian dollars, 60,000, 70,000, whatever. Do not just leave that amount there. One, make sure that you get a sponsorship letter on that amount. Make sure that your sponsor, you get something that shows your financial sources. Okay, so if it is a business set, if it is an invoice of the business that the person is doing, anything to support that, oh, this is where my income is coming from. If it is a pay slip that you should use to support it, use it to support it, so that the visa officer will know that, oh, this is where this income is coming from. Do not just send your bank statement, bam, or your sponsor's bank statement, bam, and leave it there just because you have enough fund. No, prove it. Where is the source coming from? Any document that you use to support your proof of fund, use it to support. The other aspects of like your proof of funds that you should consider is that if there is any huge sum of money being deposited in your bank account, try to explain all these things. Do not just leave your bank statement. I remember, I will use my case as an example. I think my sister transacted money into my account. Okay, I supported my application with the receipt of that transaction, I wrote in my SOP the reason for that transaction. If it was a land that was sold, if it was a money that somebody borrowed from you and the person repaid back, make sure you give a clear document on all these things or write it in your SOP. Do not just leave your bank statement just there because it's enough funds, so you are done with it. No. Make sure you are supporting it with all the necessary documents. Make sure that all your inflow and outflow money, if there is any huge sum of money, you are explaining it. So if they reject you based on your proof of fund, it usually doesn't mean because of the amounts that they are rejecting you on. No, it is mostly because of all these things that I mentioned. Maybe you didn't have enough supporting documents, there was a huge sum of money that wasn't explained, there was something in your document that wasn't well supported, your proof of fund that wasn't well supported. Okay, so all these things are something that they can use to refuse your application because of your proof of funds. So don't just think like it's just the amount. No. So I hope I'm making some sense here. So basically that is the proof of fund, what you should do. So currently, if you are applying for your application, make sure that you have first the amount in bulk that they need, maybe times 2, times 3. Okay, support it with the necessary documents. Source of finance, support it with it. Sponsorship letter, support it with it. And mostly those of you that you are uncle or your niece or whosoever supporting you, please make sure that you give proof of relationship. All these things are involved. Make sure you give proof of relationship. If it's your mother, you can use your birth cert to give proof of relationship. Okay, there are so many things that you can use as like a proof of relationship. Okay, so make sure you are supporting it with all the documents, source of finance, proof of relationship, sponsorship letter. You are explaining all the inflow and outflow of huge sum of monies. Okay, this is something that can help your proof of fund right now. Okay, the second one that I will talk about is home tie. So with the home tie, I'll first start with an example of like some couple of visa rejections and the home tie that I just saw. So it was like one of them supported their visa application with just family ties, and the person was also working. So family tie, job, and I think yes, job, 2 jobs and family ties. So guys, I'm telling you that this was still refused. Family, 2 jobs, but they still refused based on home tie, which is like, why? I have another person that was also rejected based on home tie. The person used family, business, the person was a nurse, so job, employment, and the person was like not married but was having a kid. So the child, business, and family, the person was still rejected on home ties. So therefore, why? That means if your home tie is not too strong, is it that the home tie wasn't too strong or it wasn't enough? It's a question mark. But I realized that I have one person who was not rejected because of home tie. So the person's home tie was family, 1, land, I think 2 business, land, and family. Okay, so that means that currently, if you are proving your home tie, make sure it is very strong. I have another person who was also successful, and the home tie was 1, I think child, family, 3 lands, employment, car, and another private job. So look at all these home tie. It's so much. So she wasn't rejected on home tie, but she was rejected on proof of funds, which was very, very sad. Okay, please now when you are applying for your visa, make sure your home tie is very, very strong. Do not just use your family. I think at first you can just use your family and maybe one job, and you can still get approved. But for now, I don't know, it doesn't really work like that. Okay, so please, because they have cap like international intake, you have to make sure that all these things are very strong. Do not use the past application method, the documents and all these things to do it at this critical moment. Make sure it's very, very concrete. And these are something that you can do to prove a strong home tie. Sometimes it's not just because of you having a lot of home tie, but adding proof of document, okay, strong document to support that home tie is what is actually needed. So sometimes you'll be like, my home tie is good. Why? It might be that it wasn't supported with a lot of documents. Okay, so these are one or two documents that you can use to support your home tie to make it very, very strong. So if you are using your family, you can support it with family pictures, date of birth. If you are using marriage, you have a marriage certificate, marriage pictures. All these things are something that you can use to make your home tie very strong. If it is a land, don't just state you have a land. Support it with your land documents, everything involved. If it's a car, support it. If it's a business, get a business set. Use it to support it. If you have anything relating to the business, maybe yourself at work, you can take pictures of all these things, okay? And maybe you are using your child, you can get the birth set of the child, picture of you holding the child, anything that will strongly support your home tie. So mostly they will deny your home tie, sometimes not because it is like not too strong. Maybe you have given all the details, like you have 2 jobs, you have 1 car, you have a land, you have family, you have a child, all these things. But what are the strong documents supporting all these home ties? So that is something that you should also consider. With your home tie, make sure that you have a lot of things to support your home tie. If you are using family, get some if you have some land, use it to support. If you have a wife, if you have a husband, if you have business, if you have car, all these things are something that you can use. Make it very, very conk, okay, for your home tie. Do not just use family, 1 job and you are done. Guys, I am telling you, the season that we are in right now, it's not like first that intake was so much opened. Okay, so make sure your home tie is very, very strong. Do not just go with 2 things, family and you are done. No, make sure it's very, very strong. Get some assets, get family tie, get some assets, land, car, get employment, use it. Family ties as well. Use all these things to support it to make it very, very strong. So if you are using your family, you can support it with family pictures, date of birth. If you are using marriage, you have a marriage certificate, marriage pictures. All these things are something that you can use to make your home tie very strong. If it is a land, don't just state you have a land. Support it with your land documents, everything involved. If it's a car, support it. If it's a business, get a business set. Use it to support it. If you have anything relating to the business, maybe yourself at work, you can take pictures of all these things, okay? And maybe you are using your child, you can get the birth set of the child, picture of you holding the child, anything that will strongly support your home tie. So mostly they will deny your home tie, sometimes not because it is like not too strong. Maybe you have given all the details, like you have 2 jobs, you have 1 car, you have a land, you have family, you have a child, all these things. But what are the strong documents supporting all these home ties? So that is something that you should also consider. So concerning your purpose of study, okay, your program of study, if you are writing your SOP, you have to let the visa officer know the reason why you are coming to study that program. Mostly some of them would be in like change of program. Sometimes you are even in diploma and you still want to study a diploma program in Canada. Sometimes you are in different field, let me say nursing, and you want to change it into a different field. Okay, so you have to let the visa officer know your purpose, like your reason for the switch. You have to also let the visa officer know the reason why maybe you are still diploma and you even want to decline to even take a certificate program. Okay, it should be reasonable, it should be logical. So you shouldn't just tell the visa officer, oh, you've had interest in this program just like that. No. So make sure that you do these things. Make sure that you are explaining to the visa officer the reason why you are changing your program. So maybe I am into nursing back home and I want to study pharmacy in Canada. Why the switch? The reason for the switch, you should let the visa officer know the reason for the program of study is that maybe you have some circumstances in like whilst you were practicing and you like to switch into this program to probably help that current job that you are into. So maybe in medication errors in nursing, you want to study this pharmacy to get a lot of knowledge on like medication administration, drug interaction, a whole lot of things, so that you can help like people back home. Let's say, for example, you are in a diploma program, but you still want to come and study diploma program in Canada. So why the same level? You should let the visa officer know that yes, indeed you are into diploma program, but you need international skills, international knowledge, okay? Because at the end of the day, maybe you study diploma nursing in Ghana, you want to still study diploma nursing in Canada. Do you get it? It's not actually, it's something that you should explain well. Why that? So maybe you need international skills, okay? Because Canada is a multicultural like place or country, you need all these international skills to help people from diverse environment, diverse countries and whole lot, so that you can interact with them, you can provide good or holistic care, okay? Because once you have these international skills, international knowledge, you are able to mingle. That is the same way it can be transferred when you are working back home and you meet people from different countries, okay? So you should explain the reason why you are at the same field, but you still want to study that same program in that same level. Diploma, masters, postgraduate, you get it? So you should let the visa officer know the reason why you are still at that level and that same program. Okay, I have one person who was a pharmacy tech back home and want to still study pharmacy tech in Canada. So you should explain well, you should do an in-depth research why you want to still study that same program. Another thing that usually happens is that maybe you are into nursing and you want to study business here. So why are you into nursing and you are switching to a different program? So maybe you are into nursing, you want to do business here. Why the switch? So don't just say you've had interest into business or all these things. Let the visa officer know the reason why you are making this switch. So the reason why you are making this switch can be maybe probably you have a business back home and you need international skill in business so that you can help your business back home, okay? So maybe the business is moving international, you are doing international dealing, so you need international experience so that you can function well in that business. Do you get it? So it depends. Sometimes you are changing your program because you need the skills to help that current program that you are in currently. Just like nursing and pharmacy, nursing and business can also work as well. Nursing and going to learn health administration, it helps. So it can be that same switch, you are using it to help your current work, or you have set another like business, another employment, you've entered into another employment that you need this new program to help you with the skills to function well in that field as well. But these are all reasons and something that you can state. So the next one is your purpose of stay in Canada. Okay, this very one, they deny you on this basically from your future career. Okay, and mind you, your future career or future plan section should relate with your purpose of study, like the reason why you chose that program, because that is the reason why you want to come to Canada. So that is the reason why you want to stay to Canada for that time frame for the program. Okay, so it should always relate to that of your reasoning for the program. Do not diverge from that. So the future plan section will be something like intervention for your reason of study. Okay, so if your reason of study is to halt medication error, what are some steps that you are going to take to help medication error in Ghana or back home? Okay, so what are the steps, what are the interventions that you are going to use? Do you get it? So future plan is something that you want to do to help that reason why you are studying that program. So what are the things that you'll be doing? Do you get it? So that is why you should write at your future plan. So that is why I'm saying that it should always go in line with your reason of study. Okay, maybe I am into nursing and my reason of study, in my academic background, I wrote that I am switching to maybe a pharmacy program because I want to help medication errors back home. So in your future plan session, you have to let a visa officer know the things that you are going to do in the future relating to that new pharmacy program that you've chosen, relating to that new reason why you are studying that program. So what are you going to do to help medication error? So you have to let a visa after your stay in Canada, after your program of study in Canada, you are going back home to help the youth, to create trainings, to make sure that you educate the next generation on medication dosage, blah blah blah, this thing and this thing. So it should always relate to that purpose of study of that program. So the things that you are going to do to help your business back home, because you told the visa officer that you are studying this program because you want to maybe get new skills for the business field. So what are you going to do in the business field? That is a future plan. So in your future plan section, it should always relate to your purpose of study in that new program. So as I mentioned earlier, in your purpose of study, maybe you are into nursing diploma, you still want to study nursing diploma in Canada. So in your future plan section, you have to let the visa officer know the reason why you are kind of the things that you'll be doing in that field. Okay, so maybe you are in nursing a diploma, but you are studying diploma in nursing still in Canada. You need international skills. So these international skills that you have built, how are you going to use it in the future to help your country, to help your people back home? Okay, so it should always be a focus, a future focus of what you are going to do with regards to your new program of study. Okay, so do not deviate your future plan from your program of study. Okay, so always relate it. So normally they reject you on your purpose of stay in Canada because it actually doesn't relate to your study. So that means your purpose of staying in Canada is not even like watered. Okay, because you want to study this program in Canada. Why are you studying this program in Canada? What are your future plans? You should make sure that it goes in line with that program that you are studying, because you can study that program back home or whatever. So you should bring something like you need international skills, because maybe you'll be communicating with a diverse community from different environments. Okay, so you need international skills to also help them. Okay, so these are the things that you should make sure you mention in your future plans, so that you wouldn't be rejected on your purpose of stay in Canada. Okay, so these are one or two things that you should be looking at when you are applying for your visa currently. So okay, in summary, this is something that you should consider whilst waiting for the attestation updates, or whilst you are applying for your visa in this critical moment of cap on international student visas. So one, you should make sure your home tie is very, very strong. Support it with documents. Make sure you have like enough home tie to prove that you are gonna come back to your home country. Make sure your proof of fund is very strong. You are supporting it with all the documents, sponsorship letter, sources of income, huge sum of money, inflow and outflow of money, everything involved. Make sure you support it with strong documents and explain it in your SOP as well. Another thing that you should consider doing is also your purpose of study in Canada, or your future plan. You should make sure that you inculcate it and make sure that it aligns with your new program of study. Make sure you are explaining to the visa officer the reason why you are switching your program, the reason why you are on the same level of that program, or you are even declining. Okay, make it very, very reasonable. Okay, make sure that your future plan actually relates with your current program of study. Do not go and write anything that is outskirts or outside of your current program of study. It should always relate with it. So in summary, this is something that you should consider doing, because the visa rejections is so much. So make sure your application is very, very strong, so that at least can help you support your application. If there is something in the school that you have to also do to secure your seats, I think currently that is something that you should also consider. If you have to pay your deposit, if you have to pay something, just do it, so that you will get that thing, that receipt to support your application whilst you are applying. Do not apply before you go and pay your tuition fee and all these things. It actually helps your application and make it a little bit strong, in my view. So please, I hope this video has been helpful so much. Give me your like and let me get your comments, because I remember one of the videos that I did, the person actually added proof of fund and home tie my last video, and the visa was accepted. He got the medicals, and I'm very, very happy that video has been very useful to so many people. That is what I'm looking up to just do something that will change lives. Okay, so please give me your like and support me.